and welcome to this episode. China's involvement in funding big projects in African countries has dwindled, with many big-ticket projects under the Belt and Road Initiative being put on hold. Instead, China is focusing on smaller projects that don't involve greater financial risk or become an issue of hyper-political debates and consequent political scrutiny. China's new foreign minister, Qin Gang, expressed support for Africa during the first five-nation African tour in January. He promised that China will continue to follow the principles of sincerity, real results, amity and good faith, and will expand exchange and cooperation with Africa in various fields and at all levels. However, he conveniently avoids speaking on why the Belt and Road Fund is drawing off in sub-Saharan Africa during his speech in Addis Ababa. According to a report by Baker McKinsey, an international law firm, Chinese bank financing for infrastructure projects under the Belt and Road Initiative fell from $11 billion in 2017 to $3.3 billion in 2020. Meanwhile, a recent report by Green Finance and Development Center, which is part of the Shanghai-based Fudan University, showed that China's funding under the Belt and Road Initiative for sub-Saharan countries dropped by 54% in 2022. to $7.5 billion from $16.5 billion in 2021. The decline of Chinese funding is attributed to various factors. One of the significant factors is the issue of debt. Many African countries have already accumulated huge debts from Chinese loans. Another problem is the transparency and accountability of the projects. There have been several cases where Chinese-funded projects have been accused of being overpriced and poorly executed, leading to questions on overall value of the Chinese investments in Africa. China has been the largest lender to Africa since 2009, with its loan to the continent reaching $152 billion by the end of 2020. However, some experts have warned that these loans could lead to debt crisis in the future, as many African countries are already struggling to repay their debts. According to Jubilee Debt Campaign, African countries owed $130 billion to China in 2018, which was nearly a quarter of their total external debt. Many of these loans are taken on by governments with little oversight or public scrutiny, and some countries have been criticized for taking on unsustainable debt in exchange for Chinese infrastructure projects. There are also concerns about the environmental and social impacts of Chinese investment in Africa. Chinese companies have been criticized for their poor environmental record, particularly in the mining sector, where they have been accused of contributing to deforestation, water pollution, and other environmental problems. Chinese infrastructure projects have also been criticized for displacing local communities and for violating human rights. In summary, while Chinese investments in Africa have brought much needed development and infrastructure to many African countries, there are growing concerns about the risks and problems associated with these investments. Debt sustainability, lack of transparency, and environmental and social impacts are just a few of the issues that need to be addressed in order to ensure that the Chinese investment in Africa are sustainable and beneficial for all parties involved. Thank you for your time and have a good day.